Welcome to Art History 2. I'm Jennifer Evans, your professor. I hold a master's degree from Kent State University, and I'm actually an African art historian. I focus on the art of Africa and its diaspora. My background is in contemporary African art, but I have been teaching Art History 1 and 2 for about 10 years now. I love to travel and have been to many places to see art, including New York, London, Paris, Washington, D.C., the Dominican Republic, Germany, the Netherlands. That's all I can think of right now. San Francisco. So I've been quite a few places to see art. And one of the things that I've noticed is that no matter where the art exhibition is, art seems to stir a response in people that is passionate and that is attention drawing. So I hope that you enjoy my course and enjoy the excitement that I have for this subject matter, and enjoy the specialty that I have in non-Western art, because I'm always going to be asking you to look at the non-Western side of things, even though I'm actually teaching you the Western side of things. So let's take a little bit of time with the syllabus. I just want to explain some course expectations and where you find things within the course. So the first thing I want to point out to you is on the very first page of the syllabus, you will find my phone number listed as a contact. It is my personal cell phone number. I put it on there because I want you to use it. I don't have office hours at Columbus State's campus, but because of COVID, nobody does. So if you need something, don't hesitate to pick up the telephone and give me a call. That's why my phone number is on the syllabus. I really do want you to use it. If you have a quick question, you can text me. When you text me, I appreciate it if you can identify the university that you go to and what course you're in. So this is Jim Davis. I take Art History 2 at Columbus State. That'll give me some frame of reference so that I'm positive that I'm talking to the person I think I am. I have actually given wrong information to someone before because I thought they were in a different class. So because of that, I just ask that you identify yourself when you text, so I don't accidentally give you incorrect information. Or you can call me. Please don't feel like you can't call because you're bothering me. You're never bothering me. I always want you to pick up the phone and call. It's why I give you my phone number. So learning outcomes. What are you going to learn in this class? Successful students will learn to identify works of art. You'll be able to identify major styles within works of art. You'll be able to identify particular artists. You will gain formal analysis skills. You'll be able to identify and discuss formal elements in the work of art, such as the color or the texture or the use of line. You will learn to visually analyze, to discuss ideas that are expressed in the work of art. You will learn historical analysis to explain why the art looks the way it does based on cultural influences, based on the artist's experience, based on historical developments that happen. Contextual analysis. You will begin to analyze works of art within the cultural and iconographic contexts. And critical analysis, you'll be able to use knowledge of the formal artistic elements, principles of composition and iconography, media, tools, and techniques to compose contingent interpretations. Boy, is that a mouthful. Basically, you're going to be able to talk about art. If I take you to an art museum, you'll be able to look at a painting and tell me more about what it is using proper terminology and in an educated manner. So let's talk about your textbook for a moment. The textbook that you see here on the right is yellow and has people all over it. It's a work of art done by Keith Haring. This particular textbook is a textbook that has both Art History 1 and Art History 2 in it combined. If you plan on taking both art histories, it would be worth your while to purchase this particular textbook. It is a hardbound copy, and you could get a prior edition than the one that I am using. If you get a prior edition, your page numbers aren't going to line up exactly the same as what's on the syllabus, and you might have a chapter or two that's moved around, so just be aware of that. But you can save a lot of money by not buying this particular edition. This hardbound textbook, because it has both Art History 1 and Art History 2 in it, is a large, thick, heavy textbook. The textbook that you see on the left with the modern looking building and the spider in front is actually a paper-bound version of half of the textbook. It is volume 2. It is Gardner's Art Through the Ages, Renaissance to Contemporary, volume 2. So if you decide that you want to get the paperbook textbook, be sure that you are purchasing volume 2. If you would happen to get volume 1 covers Art History 1, not Art History 2. So you need volume 2. Many of my students will say to me, do I really have to have the textbook? The answer is yes. If you don't have the textbook, you're not going to be able to do the exams. If you have questions about the textbook or you want to shoot me an email to say, hey, I'm just double checking, is this the right book? I'm happy to tell you, or I'm happy to review that for you, as well as if you want, you can use the ISBN numbers that are just below the textbook on the left. Those are the ISBN numbers for volume 2 in the paper-bound copy. You don't have to get the same edition, just like I said with the hardbound copy. They're pretty much the same. So the burning question that most of my students want to know is, how do I get a grade? Most of my students want A pluses. I certainly want you to get the best grade that you can possibly get in this course. So here you see a grade breakdown of exactly how many points each assignment is worth. You'll have 3 exams, one at week 6, one at week 12, and then a final. They're worth 300 points total, so 100 points each. You'll have a weekly homework assignment. Those weekly homework assignments total 150 points. And then the total points possible are 450 points. So the weekly homework assignment will have several elements to it, and we'll discuss all of those elements as you do them. Okay, so let's talk about classroom assignments. All assignments are due on Sunday at midnight. Because this class is taught asynchronously, that means that all assignments are due Sunday at midnight. It also means that I record lecture and post it online, and you may listen to the lecture at any time during the week. Your assignment is posted on Blackboard. It looks like a quiz or a test. It's labeled a quiz or an exam. It's not timed, it's just an assignment. And when you add all of the assignments for the week up at the end of the semester, they total 150 points. So they're not quite as weighty as an exam. You only get one attempt at them. And of course, you have to turn it on Blackboard because it's built into Blackboard. The answers to the assignments will appear in the feedback area after the assignment's due date. So if you don't go back in and look at the assignments and see what you did wrong or see what the correct answer is, if you got something wrong, you're not going to get as much from the assignment. So please do that. Go back in once the assignment's been graded after the due date and look and see what you missed and where you maybe needed to fill in a hole or two. Very important note here is that I do not take late work unless you prearrange an extension with me. I am pretty lenient about giving you an extension as long as you contact me within 48 hours prior to the due date. I will only grant you one extension per semester. The exams are a combination of essay, short answer, and multiple choice. They will be timed. So those of you who have disabilities, please contact me so that I can be sure to submit your exam through Disability Services. You always have until Sunday at midnight to turn everything in, but if you miss an exam, you will only be given the opportunity to make the exam up if you have a university recognized valid excuse for the exam. The thing that I am a very big stickler about is do not miss an exam and tell me you had a dentist appointment that day. You need to have a reason that was significant. Were you hospitalized for the week? Maybe your child was sick all week. Maybe you are overextended and you need an extension. But make-up opportunities for exams, once you miss the exam, will only be given if you have documentation for missing the exam. And the documentation needs to cover a substantial amount of days during the week. It can't just be that day I had a dentist appointment. It has to be substantial for the entire week. Exams have a combination of question types, just like the homework, and they are timed. You'll have until Sunday at midnight to turn in the exam, just like your homework. You'll only get one chance on the exam. It's forced completion, so you want to be sure that you have a comfortable place to work on the exam, where you can devote all of your attention to what you're doing. If for some reason you get interrupted while you're in the middle of doing the exam and you leave the computer for too long, the exam will automatically submit for you. Makeup opportunities for examinations are only worked out with a valid university recognized documentation, meaning that you have to be able to prove to me why you were out for the entire week or why you couldn't do the exam for the entire week. This is just a reminder about my classroom policies and about turning in late work. All assignments are due on Sunday at midnight. I don't take late work unless you prearrange an extension with me at least 40 hours prior to the due date, and I only grant you one extension per semester. That being said, choose to use your extension wisely. You never know when you might need it. If you're sick or in the hospital or something like that, we can usually work it out, but you'll need to contact me way in advance. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about assignments. So class is organized into weekly assignments, and if you follow the assignment calendar, you'll see every single thing that's going on for the week in the class. This assignment calendar is really your Bible for the class as a whole. We follow it to a T. If we get off course, then I will modify the assignment calendar, but that is something that rarely happens. If I modify the assignment calendar, I will date stamp that in the section on Blackboard so that you know you need to look at it. Class is organized into weekly assignments, and typically we work on one chapter per week in the textbook. You have an assignment on Blackboard to complete every single week. We did just go over that, but I'll go over it again. The weekly assignments are intended to push your critical thinking skills. I have lots of students who get very upset when they lose points, a few points here and a few points there on their weekly assignments. They want everything to be perfect. If you are that person, please note that it is not my goal for you to get a perfect score every single week, unless your critical thinking skills are just off the chart and you've really, really put a lot of thought into your answers. Your homework assignment for each week will have a couple of different activities in it. It'll have some multiple choice, it will have some short answer, and it might have some basic essay writing. The reason I ask you to practice all of those skills is because on the exam, you're going to see all of those type of questions. So for the weekly homework assignments, I'm asking you to delve deeper. Think more critically about the particular subject matter at hand. And sometimes in the weekly homework assignment, I will ask you to do a little research. Those questions that I ask you to do a little more research or to dig deeper. You want to put some effort into showing me what it is that you found in your research. They're not intended for me to give you feedback in an English style, essay style manner. They are intended for you to learn how to research and dig deeper. As long as you've found the information and relay the information to me and you've cited your source, that's the only thing I ask. I'm not going to edit your work and say you need periods here and commas there on the weekly homework assignments. It's just, it's not helpful for you. It makes you feel picked apart, and it defeats the purpose of the whole writing process in the first place. let's go over the assignment calendar a little bit more thoroughly here, because it is so very important for your success in this course. So if you start on the far left-hand side, you see that the week is listed and the dates. So week 1 corresponds with January 18th through January 24th. On Blackboard, it corresponds with the syllabus. The week 1 is labeled week 1, January 18th through January 24th. The next box tells you what the lecture topic is for the video. So Proto-Renaissance, International Gothic Style, and Late Medieval. Usually you're going to have one video per week. When we get into some of the later chapters, they are shorter videos. So I go over Cubism and Cubism only. It takes about 15 minutes, and you can watch them sort of in pieces so that you don't have to spend hours sitting there watching one presentation. The next box is your assignment for the week. Basically, I have arranged homework into a weekly assignment that is on Blackboard. We talked about that. So you're just going to go on Blackboard, do the weekly homework assignment. That's all you need to do. Some of the questions in the weekly homework assignment will take place of your research paper. Those questions, and I will label them clearly, are questions that are there for you to do research. So just note that there are going to be a variety of different style questions in each homework section. Assessment methods, it just tells you what skills you're working on for the week. And then if you have an exam, that'll be listed there as well. And then the very last box is the due dates and other important information that you might need, like add drop dates, when offices on campus are closed. Because this course has no actual meeting times, because of COVID, it's the campus closure information isn't as important to you, but I still listed it. And then, of course, homework week 1 and the due date. The only exception to the due dates of everything being due on Sunday is the final exam. The final exam is released on a Monday. You have to have it back by a Wednesday night at midnight. All right, this is the end of us going over the syllabus together. If there is something that you don't understand, please reach out to me through text or through calling me or email. Any of those methods are fine. If you email me and I don't get right back to you, please re-email me. I may not have gotten your email. I hope that you enjoy this course. I very much look forward to working with you together this semester.